All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you, everybody, for those of you that you need that song. That's Rotimi. Rotimi. I know, girl. Naja music is my thing. All right. A lot of people don't know is I'm the one to blast my music in the car. Okay, so it's Rotimi, and he's a Nigerian artist. And yeah, all of his stuff is amazing. Techno, Wizkid, there's so many amazing artists. So that's Rotimi, Stephanie, if you ever want to look that up. Okay, so thank you, ladies, for those of you that are here. I know I mentioned for anybody that couldn't make it to the live that you can catch this again on YouTube in the next week or so. But thank you to those of you who made the time to be here. And everybody else would just catch it on playback, on repeat. So we're going to get started. I'm excited about this. Those of you that are here, it's meant for you to be here. It's meant for us to have these conversations. Yes, Mama Love. It's meant for us to have these conversations together and then carry it on to those women who speak this language or are ready to learn this language. So I'm glad that you're here. So I'm going to just go over a few things. This is really the stuff I'm about to go over is really for a bigger audience. But for those of you who are here, I'm pretty sure that we can kind of keep this flowing and keep this mature as mature women. And I want your feedback. I want this to be conversational. Okay. I don't want to just talk. I want to hear from you. So, as I mentioned in the cast that I put out last week about this live tonight, I wrote an article, and I'm going to basically read that article and give us an opportunity to converse about it, to talk about it. Now, Stephanie Grace is up in the place. She's here, and you'll see her name, _Grace_realtor. That's Stephanie. And a conversation that I had with Stephanie is really what inspired me to write this article, what really put the icing on the cake to write this article and then to do this live. The reason I'm doing this live here on Fireside Chats for Global Women IG page is because I'm unable to do anything relating to the Fireside. Yes, Stephanie said yes. I'm unable to do anything on the my personal page. Because as we know, once you are in the trademarking arena, everything you do has to be under that name. And I just don't want to create any confusion going forward. So anything that's related to Fireside Chats for Global Women is going to be here on this IG page. And the most I'll share on my personal page is stuff that I'm doing here. So, this is why we're doing it here. We gotta stay in alignment, right? We're creating our seeds and following our passions, but we're also being smart while we're doing it. Yes. So anyway, Stephanie is the inspiration behind this article and why I'm having this conversation. And because when I just looked out at women who have been on this journey for some time, I noticed that there has been so much confusion that has just kind of carried on throughout the centuries about who we are, not only as women, but as beings on this planet, right? And, a lot of confusion about why we do some of the things we do, why we choose to make certain decisions. And so my question started to be, are we making decisions based on what the world around us has taught us, based on what beliefs or traditions or religion has taught us? Or are we making decisions based on our own personal experiences, based on whatever that is that speaks from within, whatever that is? So when I met Stephanie, I was in the market looking for a new place to rent. I was deciding between, to rent. This is a great time to buy if you are in the market to buy. And if you are looking for a realtor, Stephanie is the person to reach out to. Again, her page is _Grace_realtor. And also, Crystal Bartholomew, or Chrissy, is here too with the Faithful Guardian Aviation. You guys saw that video yesterday. So if you are interested in learning how to fly, then reach out to Chrissy. But anyway, so when I met Stephanie, we went to lunch and we had a conversation. And that conversation was, again, the icing on the cake that prompted me to come out about this stuff, to no longer hide or sweep under the rugs what I've uncovered for myself, that I know has been vilified and masked as it relates to the power of not only the woman, but the power of the feminine. And when I say the power of the feminine, I mean this feminine energy that exists in not only women, but also in men. Yes, this feminine energy exists both in male and female. Okay. But my work is tailored and targeted for women and girls. So I'm going to be speaking to the woman. And the reason being is because just based on my own experiences, I've seen so much confusion about what real feminine energy and real feminine power is, right? A lot of the times thank you for the hearts. I saw that. A lot of the times what I, just a motif that I follow within myself is, feminine energy, or feminine power isn't about just looking like it, right? It isn't about just looking like it, but actually being it and knowing what that journey entails in order to come into this type of ancient wisdom, this type of ancient intelligence, this type of ancient power. This power and energy is nothing to play with, y'all, right? This power and energy is nothing to play with. And we have seen people over centuries toy with this power like it's a game you can, take off and put back on the shelf whenever you feel like it. And so the infiniteness of what this power is no longer allowing herself to be played with. Okay. She's no longer allowing herself to be played with. So we're going to dive into this. I'm going to pull the article up really quick and let's just get started. So again, I'm going to read the article and then I'm going to pause for comments from you. Okay. Now, if you watch this later on, if you're not on this live right now and you watch this later on YouTube, I still want your comments. I still want your feedback. Okay. You can email me at jointhefireside@gmail.com and we can connect that way. All right. So let's get started. Happy Women's History Month, by the way. Happy Women's, you say, you sure all right? That's my mama, y'all. Hey, mama. I am Dream Magus, powerful dream interpreter, by the way. I'm not just saying that because she's my mama. She's a powerful dream interpreter, and I cannot imagine not have had her to depend on or to lean on or to get advice from in regards to the dreams that I've had. When I say dream interpreter, I don't mean goals, dreams. I mean, actually sleeping at night, waking up and you actually dreamt during your sleep, during your REM sleep. So if you're on here, if you're watching this later, if you're watching this now, whenever you watch this, I Dream Magus. Yes, it's my mom. She also is the creator of Shifting Religious Concepts. You can check that out every Sunday at 10 a.m. on Zoom. You can find that information on YouTube as well, Shifting Religious Concepts. But if you are a dreamer, and you have been praying or meditating on attracting somebody who can help you interpret your actually during sleep dreams, then contact I Dream Magus. All right. So let's get started. So, are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Because I am. I'm literally, I've been literally feeling the energy of arousal getting ready for this live tonight, and even feeling that as I prepare for the amount of feedback and comments that I know this is going to get once it reaches the type of people it is meant for. So without further ado, let's get started. All right. So what else can you do with your stored sensual and sexual energy other than pour it out on tarot? Right? Now, No offense to any brother that watches this later on. No offense if your name is Tyrone. This is not a personal anything, okay? So what else can you do with your stored, emphasis on stored, sensual and sexual energy other than pour it out on Tyrone? These are ancient insights into the power of celibacy and abstinence they never wanted you to know. Now, why do I say insights, ancient insights into the power of celibacy and abstinence they never wanted you to know? Well, for one, these are hidden other truths about why it is important to practice abstaining from intercourse, from sexual intercourse. Now, I know if you grew up in church, I grew up Christian and Seventh-day Adventist and what else? Jehovah's Witness, right? My mom tried everything, to keep us on the straight and narrow, so to speak. But so if you grew up in, some type of religious ideology, then like me, especially as a woman, and I don't know how it is for men, and maybe we can talk to some brothers later on and see if there was as much emphasis on them with practicing abstaining as it is on the feminine. But if you grew up with this religious ideology or doctrine, then you were probably taught to abstain from sex because you needed to wait for marriage. Okay. As a woman, you were probably taught to abstain from sex because it was important for you to remain what they call pure. Okay. And I'm doing air quotes when I say that, pure, and wait for your husband. And so we're going to dive into a lot of these concepts as I read this article, and then we're going to discuss them. So let's continue. So here we go. The practice, right? The practice of celibacy and or abstinence has more to do with using or activating your stored power for yourself first, and less to do with waiting for marriage. Okay. I've journeyed into the dark. Literally, I have journeyed through the darkness of my own mental and emotional health in order to retrieve this ancient wisdom and ancient intelligence. And in this piece, the ancients, those that came before us, through me, is giving it all to you, those of you that are here. All right. So let's chat. So my motivation, again, Stephanie, I hope you're still in here. My motivation for writing this piece comes from a conversation I had with a young woman, a Georgia-based realtor, Stephanie, who was assisting me with locating a home during my search in December of 2020. We went to lunch after a long day of looking at homes, and while there, we held some deep conversations. Says here, I see you, girl. We held some deep conversations about life, our careers, our passions, the state of the world, right? And transparently enough, we talked about love and relationships, right? I divulged that I had been in the personal practice of abstaining from sex at that time for 2 years and currently counting, all right? And currently counting. And she expressed that she was on year 7. She was on year 7. Now, don't get it twisted, and you'll see her in a little bit. This sister is absolutely gorgeous, tall and feminine. She could probably walk into any room and grab the attention of anyone there. So needless to say, her sexual pause had nothing to do with not being aesthetically attractive. Year 9. Oh, excuse me. Year 9. So that means I'm going to have to go back into my article and do some editing, Stephanie. What's year 9? Okay. Stephanie corrected me. So year 9 for Stephanie in the practice, year 9. Okay. So needless to say, her sexual pause had nothing to do with her being aesthetically attractive. And you're going to see her in just a little bit here. So I asked her why she chose to abstain. And she shared some details about the, if I may say, the depression she fell into during and after her pregnancy with her son, okay? Escaping a physically and verbally abusive relationship. And she added how her religious beliefs supported her decision to wait for marriage. She went on to say, and if you remember this, Stephanie, we'll talk about this in just a second. I'm going to bring you on in just a little bit, so stay close. She went on to say, whoever he is, he needs to hurry up because I'm tired of waiting. And she looks off like this. So we're eating, she's eating and we're eating. And she said, tell it all. Yes. And so she said, well, whoever he is, he needs to hurry up because I'm tired of waiting. And when she said that, something sparked inside of me. All right. Something sparked inside of me. And what it was this knowing that said, you have to share with her what you have uncovered for yourself, not with just her, but with any other woman and girl that is on this journey to uncovering and discovering who and what she truly is outside of what she's been taught, outside of religious doctrine or ideologies, outside of traditions. Okay. So she said that. And of course, we both laughed, so loud, in fact, that we caught the attention of a couple in the cashier who smiled at us, if you remember, Stephanie. She then asked me why I chose to abstain from sex. And my response was this. You ready? My response was this. For me, my choice to abstain, and I'm saying this to you currently as I said it to her. For me, my choice to abstain isn't about waiting for the one. It's not. Because as we know, as women who are fully in our power, or just women or anybody, men, period, at any time we know we could pick up a phone and make a call and make those calls. We could pull out the little black book or the red book and make those calls. We could go back through our contacts and unblock some numbers if we wanted to, right? But for me, are y'all still in here? For me, the choice wasn't about waiting for the one, okay? But the fact that I would much rather use the power of my for more than just penetration. You still there? Right? Y'all still up in here? How do you feel about that? How do y'all feel about that? For me, my choice isn't about waiting for the one, but the fact that I would much rather use the power of my beep for more than just penetration. Yes, Chrissy! You got kicked off, Mama Love? No. Sheena, got kicked off? Okay, so you're back in here? Okay, so you're back in here. All right. So I'll read that one more time, then I'm going to keep going, okay? So when Stephanie asked me, why did I choose to abstain? My response was, for me, my choice isn't about waiting for the one, right? Because we could easily pick up the phone and make some calls, can't we? Can easily do that. It's easy to do. But hi! Oh, I'm so glad you made it, Nick. Everybody say what's up to Nick. Thank you for your support. Thank you for coming in. The only man on this thing, y'all. The only male up in here. Hey, Nick. Thanks for coming. So I'll repeat this one more time since Nick is in here and then Sheena got cut off. All right. So you said I'm back. Cool. All right. Last time. And then we're going to keep going. So when Stephanie asked me why I chose to abstain, my response was this. My choice isn't about waiting for the one, but the fact that I would much rather use the power of my for more than just penetration. Okay? Her eyes widened and her ears perked up because she was ready to know more. And in that very moment, you guys, in that very moment, hey, Thomas, you up in here too? I didn't know. Hey, Thomas the man. Okay, so we have two men up in here. So you guys meet each other. The only two men that are in here. Nick, meet Thomas. Thomas, meet Nick. Okay. Right. So you like that part. You guys like that part, right, ladies? We would much rather use, and I'm going to be very, very raw. We would much rather use the power of our wombs, our vaginas, for more than just penetration, right? So her eyes widened, her ears perked up because she was ready to know more, Stephanie, right? And in that very moment, guess what, you guys? In that very moment, I got aroused. Literally, the feeling of arousal stirred up within my womb. And why? Because the I, hello, yes, I see you, right? Because the I that lives within me realized something. I realized that if I hadn't actually taken the deep, dark journey into the visible, unseen self, right? The self that the world doesn't get to see, this inner journey that we talk about, the dark night of the soul journey that we talk about. If I hadn't gone on this invisible, unseen journey myself, the journey that most haven't taken or like to pretend they have taken, okay, that I would not have acquired nor would have been able to share or teach the more she and so many others are ready to know. Okay? We ready to keep going? So arousal. So let me explain the feeling of arousal. So arousal, if you can look it up, you can pull out your dictionaries or, your phones, you can Google it. There's so many meanings, right? You have to do your work. You have to do your due diligence and kind of dig up this stuff yourself. But defining arousal is defined as to awaken, to stimulate, to action, to boldly become ready, or bold readiness, and to excite, right? So in that moment, I became aroused because that more that was within me was ready and was on fire to provide these hidden other truths. Okay. So by the end of our conversation, I had this awakened warrior, Stephanie, I'm about to bring you on. I had this awakened warrior repeating the following mantra, a mantra that I hope all women who read this, that have been in the practice or have chosen to be in the practice of this art, will read this and will repeat to remind herself whenever she questions her choice to withdraw, whenever she questions her choice to withdraw from intercourse. Okay? So if you remember this mantra, I had you repeat this, Stephanie, a couple of times. So this is a mantra that I hope every woman will repeat whenever she questions why she's chosen to abstain or to practice celibacy. And here's the mantra. All right, we ready? I choose to abstain from sex, not because I am waiting for the one, okay, but because I know how powerful my pussy is. Ooh. Let me ring the bell on that. Ooh, right? I choose to abstain from sex, not because I'm waiting for the one, right? That's one reason. That's one reason we can choose, but that's not the only reason. That's not the reason the ancients have created for us to know, right? I choose to abstain from sex, not because I'm waiting for the one, but because I know how powerful my pussy is. Stephanie, I'm bringing you in. I'm going to find you and try to bring you in here. Now, this is my first time doing this, and I hope I'm able to, okay, go live with Stephanie. Yeah. Oh, the realtor I've been mentioning this entire time. Someone asked, are you saying we can arouse ourselves? Abso-freaking-lutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. In more ways than one. In more ways than one. Okay, so let me try to bring Stephanie in again. Go live with Stephanie. All right. It says you're unable to join. I don't know what that means, Steph. Ugh. It says you're unable to join. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. Oh, so I'm going to keep going. But yes, Stephanie is in here. Stephanie, if you want to comment, you can. Feel free to do that. I'm not sure why it won't allow me to bring you in. Oh, I don't see you in here anymore. Are you still here, Stephanie? Do I need to comment? Says you're still here. Give me 1 second, you guys. Technology is good when it works, right? For some reason, I'm not seeing you in here, Steph. I don't know what that means. Give me 1 second. Go live with Stephanie. I don't know. Oh, Stephanie, it's saying you're unable to join. I don't know what that means. So we're gonna keep going, but feel free to comment in here. I'm not quite sure what that means. Not quite sure what that means. So we're gonna keep going to not kind of stall here. I'll try one more time. Yeah, for some reason it's saying unable. So we're gonna keep going, Stephanie, but feel free to comment in here. And yeah, go ahead and try to figure that out. Meantime, thank you for being in here anyway. Guys, reach out to Stephanie if you are in the market for a home. So yeah, so by the end of this meeting, I think I see someone else join. Let me see who that is. Kevin, you're up in here. Thank you for coming. So we have 3 men. So Nick, Thomas, meet Kevin. Kevin, meet Nick and Thomas. You're the only 3 guys up in here. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, so by the end of that our lunchtime together, I had Stephanie repeating that following mantra. Yes, I had Stephanie repeating that following mantra. So let's continue, okay? So let's break this down, what this even means to say that I choose to abstain from sex, not because I'm waiting for the one, but because I know how powerful my pussy is, right? Let's break this down. But before we do that, let's set some ground rules before proceeding into the power of holding out and why we do it at all, why we even practice this at all, okay? So I've seen many women talk about this idea of vagina power or pee power, okay? And just based on my research and my own evolutionary journey, I found that a lot of these concepts are shared by women who have not, okay? Let's see. Okay. I found that a lot of these concepts are shared by women who have not developed the emotional intelligence nor the mental health themselves to share such powerful ancient motifs. This wisdom and intelligence, power and energy is nothing to play with, y'all, right? I see many women developing seminars and doing speeches and hosting women's conferences and attempting to guide on tapping into this power of the PUSSY, right? And while that is great, here is what I know, okay? Here is what I know. And again, this article is up on patreon.com/the Fireside. If you want to read this later, okay, or share it with women that you know who this may resonate with, all right? So it's on patreon.com/the Fireside if you want to read it, okay? So while I think that's great that there are certain women out there sharing some of this information, here's what I know. Number one, without emotional intelligence to properly will such power, okay, you get women who are immature, right? Women who are immature, attempting to attack other women due to jealousy and competition, and women who attempt to control and belittle men with their vaginas. Yes? You still up in here, right? Number 2, feminine power attracts, okay? It does not chase unless she lives in the wild and feeds on hyenas. And it does not attack unless protecting herself, all right? And number 3, if you yourself haven't gained, again, that EI, emotional intelligence required to access and properly activate such power, you're unequipped to teach it. Just honestly, transparently speaking, you're unequipped to teach what you haven't journeyed through yourself, right? Because you can't fake energy. You can't fake consciousness, okay? Number 4, you cannot wear feminine power like the newest fashion, all right? You must be it, not just try to look like it, because you cannot fake energy. You can read right through it, all right? When a person enters a room, you can read their energy just based on how they enter a room. It doesn't matter what they're wearing. It doesn't matter what they look like. You can enter a room wearing a potato sack, okay? You can enter a room wearing a potato sack, and based on your energy, people will be able to read who and what you truly are, if they're readers of energy, okay? Chrissy says, yep. Isn't that right? You really can. You cannot fake energy. Number 5, just the way we don't want to see poisonous men in positions of raw power, we don't want to see poisonous women, meaning women who've not yet gained the emotional intelligence, women who've not yet journeyed through the darkness of their mental health themselves. We don't want to see poisonous women, activating this power either, right? Not without having first developed divine empathy to do so. Again, you would have women who are belittling men, trying to control men with their vaginas, women who are competing, trying to sabotage other women, right? Seeing another woman in her power causes women who've not gained emotional intelligence to feel that she would need to be in competition or some sense of intimidation, right? Okay. Number 6, the darkness or the womb, so to speak, is where this feminine power lives, okay? It's where this feminine power lives. And unless you've traveled through the dark night of the soul journey yourself, you are unequipped to guide anyone else on it. Now, I'm only able to share any of what I'm sharing right now. I'm only able to speak about what I'm speaking on right now because I have taken the journey, a journey few have taken or have had the willpower to take. And this journey really is not for the faint of heart. Okay. I journeyed, in a place where most people would stray away from. I've uncovered ancient wisdoms and motifs about the concept of turning pain into power because I've actually taken this journey myself. I always say, unless you journey through hell, how can you tell me how to get through it? All right. Unless you journey through hell, how can you tell me how to get through it? How do they use the vagina to control? Ooh, great question. Great question. We're going to go into that point a little bit later. So remind me to come back to that. But just to give a little insight into that, think about toxic relationships. Okay. I Dream Megas asked, how do they use the vagina to control? Let's think about toxic relationships. Okay. What we call toxic relationships. Women who attempt to put it on somebody, right? We're going to read that in just a few seconds. I'm going to go there. Women who try to what we call pussy whip, right? Transparently and honestly speaking, that is the lowest form, literally and figuratively speaking, the lowest form in which to use this energy. Okay. Not even to use, I want to take out that word. Even my vocabulary continues to evolve. Even my work continues to evolve. So that is the lowest form in which to activate this sitting power, okay? This energy, this power that is dwelling there, waiting to be activated in infinite ways other than just through sex. But for most women, or a lot of women, say most, for a lot of women who didn't have anyone around her to teach her what this power is, the only way that she's been taught to activate this power is if she goes and tries to put it on a man, tries to have sex with a man, try to control the man by, trying to pussy whip him. That's what we call it, right? That's what some call it. It's not what I call it. Some call it that, but that's what they try to call it. Okay. So I'm going to kind of delve on that in just a little bit here. Okay. So I'm going to come back to that. All right. So number 8, was I on number 8? I think I was on number 8. So this isn't about accessing and unleashing a power all willy-nilly. It's about earning the right to and knowing what to do with it once you do. Okay. Number 9, men embody this energetic power too. Okay. We're talking about feminine power here, right? All of us are made up of masculine energy and feminine energy. This energy that I'm talking about is a divine feminine energy. That divine part is the part that you earn. It's the part that you gain. That divine part is the part that you earn once you take the journey through the darkness of who and what you really are. Okay? All right? So since my work is tailored and targeted, for women and girls, we're going to continue on to women and girls here. All right? But again, this feminine energy exists in our men as well. We can think about how we used to say in the 90s, sharing with the man to get in touch with his feminine side. Okay. This is that. This is exactly what this is. But now we're diving deeper, right? Because there was some confusion about what this feminine side is. What is a feminine side? Especially when you're talking to an alpha male, or a very masculine man, and you tell him to get in touch with his feminine side. The first thing he's going to do is frown upon that, because he thinks that means being girly. He thinks that that's an outwardly expression of something feminine, and it has nothing to do with that. This is all energy we're talking about here. The yin and the yang, right? The sun and the moon. The sun representing the masculine, and the moon representing the feminine, right? So having that dance between the two, so to speak. All right. So let's start by addressing 2 key points they never wanted you to know about the true meaning and power of practicing celibacy and abstinence. All right. A and C, we're going to shorten it to A and C. So number 1, A and C has far less to do with waiting for marriage and more to do with gaining the emotional intelligence necessary to harness your own power of creation. This energy is the power of creation. Okay. Harnessing this power of creation for yourself first before ever sharing it with a partner. Okay. So the reason to practice abstinence and celibacy, somebody said, teach. Yes. Right. So the reason send a request to be in your video. Let's see, Stephanie. I think Stephanie figured it out. Let's see. Stephanie! How did you figured it out, girl?
I just typed in and looked around and read.
Oh, awesome. So Stephanie is up in here. She finally made it. You look beautiful, my sister. Look at you. I love it. And somebody else just joined in. Let's see who this is. Tia, the realtor. Okay. I think is that somebody you invited, Stephanie?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, Tia. And I hope I'm saying this right. Sinai, not sure, but thank you for coming. So we got another brother up in here. So far we got 3 or 4 of our men. Thank you. So Stephanie is here, ladies and gentlemen. And we were trying to get her in a little while ago, you guys remember? And so she's figured out how to get in here. So let's chat. So let's go back to, and I'm gonna come back to the point that we were on, but let's go back to our lunch meeting, our lunch chat. And again, guys, Stephanie is a realtor, and she was assisting me with locating a place last year, December 2020. And the conversation that I had with Stephanie is what inspired me to write this piece, to share this information, this ancient intelligence. And so while we were at lunch, we just divulged. We had girl talk. That's what we did, right? We had girl talk. And Stephanie was open to sharing some of her battles with coming through anxiety and depression during her pregnancy and then after having her son, and escaping an abusive and verbally abusive and physically abusive relationship. And so when I divulged that I had been in the practice of abstaining for 2 years, Stephanie divulged that she'd been in the practice of abstaining and practicing celibacy. I said for 7, but she's corrected that. It's been 9 years, y'all. Yeah. It's been 9 years. And how her decision to do that stemmed from a plethora of reasons. One being, somebody shared your story. Thanks for sharing. One being your religious beliefs, okay? And then, of course, just coming through that darkness of depression and anxiety and not knowing and just kind of pulling back your energy. So tell us what really prompted you to, kind of start this practice of celibacy and or abstaining. And then after you and I met, because that was the first time you and I had met, after we had that conversation, what your thoughts were after sharing that mantra, after repeating that mantra. What did you go on, or what did you gain from that conversation about continuing to practice? So kind of give us that insight. And first, introduce who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff.
So
even though already.
I'm a realtor with Keller Williams, and like Timmésha said, we met for the first time in Lithonia. She was looking for a rental, and it's so interesting. Like I always get into like super deep conversations with people that I've never met. It's just something that I don't know. It's just something that I like because I like really deep conversations. Yes. And so we ended up going to this vegan cafe, and we talked until like the night. We were like in there, and we didn't even look at houses after that because we were just so into our conversation. And yes, me kind of repeating the mantra and kind of listening to Timmésha, I always kind of do that because I want people to be comfortable with me, to talk to me about the reason behind it, if it is abstinence or whatever it may be. My reason is my reason is not necessarily to wait for it. Now, there is something where I have always wanted to just have one partner. I've always wanted to wait for marriage. But that's not necessarily the reason behind me abstaining. It's more so just because of my faith and I believe that that's the best. I think that that's the best kind of, not just because it's in, my faith and what God's word says. It's just because it's for our protection, like for our protection against all these ties that we have to certain people. And I have never been attracted to that. I've never thought that was something I would want to get into. So that's my reason. And yeah, my last actual relationship was about 10 years ago. It was abusive, but it wasn't like what you see on the TV. Like we actually got along, but there was just a lot of things that he was dealing with, and I just happened to be a part of that. So after we had our conversation, I came away with from it kind of just realizing that you and I have very similar beliefs. I just think that yours is at its foundation different. Like your rebirth and things like that. We have that in the Christian faith as well. Like a lot of things that you said really resonated because it's in the scripture for me. It's just different. Like a lot of things that you said. So that's kind of what I came away with it. And I do think that there's definitely power inside of me. There's no doubt about that. And the Christian faith definitely, solidifies that. God is very much so for women. There's a lot of powerful women in scripture. So that's kind of what I came away with it from. I just think that ours, it's pretty much similar, but we just have two different foundations, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I believe we also discussed or also shared that a lot of what we do now stems from a core belief, right? Core practices. Religion got it from somewhere, okay? Spirituality got it from somewhere. Every idea or belief that we practice came from some core something somewhere and then branched off, and people add on their own thing that works for them. That's what we call individuality, right? So when you say that a lot of this stems, or you've read in scripture, or you've seen it in Christianity, it's because all religions have pulled from a core base, right? And then evolved and branched off into what people consider their own traditional beliefs. So when you mentioned how many years you were in the practice, and then you asked me, and I said, I'd much rather, I said, hi, I just want to say hi to, there are a couple people that came in. Olivia Grace OG. Hello, thank you for coming. And then Antoine Hawkins. Thank you. There's another brother up in here. Thank you.
Hello.
Our men in here. Hello. Yes. So, and then you asked me, and then I said that I'd rather use the power of for more than just penetration. And your eyes were like, right? And then we delved into what that meant. And so by the end of that conversation, do you remember the mantra? I read it a little while ago. Hi, do you remember the mantra that I had you repeat a couple of times? You said, oh yeah. All right.
I felt comfortable with you, because most of it, like with anybody else, I'm like, no. But because we already had like a sister connection, I was like, and it's true. Like I do believe that there's power inside of me. In a sense, we definitely have something that we can harness, because I've seen, how crazy men can get when they don't have control over you, like a toxic type of control over you. I know that, and I know that it's very clear to me that I can like keep for myself to myself, so that I don't have to give any man that's not deserving of everything, that like all of my walls being down and all of that. Yeah, we're not doing that. And so
okay. So we're gonna dive. Let's dive a little deeper, okay? Because this conversation, for those who are, I'm gonna read your question in just a minute. Is it safe to say that you have to have willpower to do this? You have to have knowledge to do this, okay? So because again, this conversation isn't just about keeping yourself away from the man. We love men here, all right?
yeah.
Let me just clarify that. Men, we love you very, very much.
Very.
Okay? We love you very, very much, all right? We love it when your jawbone sticks out, when you're clenching your jaws, when you're a little upset. We love it. We love it when your forearms stick out, when you're driving a car. We love it. We love it when you are dripping sweat because you've been hammering away at building our meditation spaces. We love it. So men, we love you here. So this isn't about, turning away from the man, okay? Honestly, this conversation isn't about men at all right? This isn't about men at all. This energy is alive in men, yes, but this conversation about practicing celibacy and abstinence has nothing to do with the man, but everything to do with you as the woman, okay? The practice of celibacy and abstinence, we're gonna dig a little deeper here, but the practice of celibacy and abstinence in this conversation is about understanding why you practice it outside of waiting for what we call the one, okay? We've placed so much power and emphasis on waiting for the one that we literally equate our power to just being with a man. That is the issue, okay? So that's what we're gonna dive into here. So Stephanie, thank you for being here. I'm gonna click off the video because I'm gonna get back to this part. But everybody, please reach out to Stephanie Grace. Stephanie, please provide how people can get in touch with you and your services and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so my contact information is on my Instagram, which is sgrace_realtor. You'll see all my contact information if you just tap on one of the posts. It should have it at the very bottom. So,
Yes. It was so good to see you.
good to see you too, girl.
So glad you made it. And stay on, okay? Don't go away because
Okay.
it gets much juicier after this. All right. We'll talk soon. I'm not quite sure how to end your video, but we'll figure that out. Okay. So I'm going to continue. I think she's going to try to figure it out. All right. So let's dive deep, right? Because Stephanie mentioned, not giving it out or somebody being worthy. And it's kind of like, we know that we've had those conversations, right? But we are evolving past just thinking that celibacy and abstinence or abstaining, or holding out, so to speak, is just about waiting until we meet somebody and then we pour it all on them. When you think about it, that can be very stressful to a man. Okay, I'm just speaking from my divine masculine self, okay, because we are all feminine and masculine. That can be scary as hell, or heaven, depending on how you look at it. Okay, double entendre, right? To a man, and pretty overwhelming when you think about storing up. I'm keeping all of my power from now on. No, this isn't about that. Okay, this is about activating your power for other things than just pouring it out on your partner, or Tyrone, as the title of this is, right? Remember, the whole premise is, what else can you do? What else can you do? What else can you do with your stored sensual and sexual energy other than pour it out on Tyrone? What else can you do? So let's stay focused on that. All right. So here we go. So I'm going to go back to point 1. So as far, abstinence and celibacy has far less to do with waiting for marriage. Again, thanks, Stephanie, for being on. Build empires. Now somebody is speaking the language, right? What does Beyonce say? What does she say in the song? Oh, come here, baby. Hope you still like me. If you can't, then my persuasion could build a nation. Endless power. Yes, right? The question is, what else can you do with this energy? Because it is merely energy sitting there waiting for you to do something else with it other than fuck it away. I'm gonna pause right there for a second. This energy is sitting there waiting for you to do something else with it other than sex it away. Think about that for a minute. You don't even have to think about that. Feel into that for just a second. Solange says, Beyonce's sister, singer Solange, she says, try to sex it away. Try to get away. Right? That is such a disservice to yourself, to all of ourselves as women. Again, my work is strategically tailored and targeted for women and girls. That the only thing that we've been taught to do with this energy is to fuck it away. Chrissy says, yes, right? All right. So let's keep going. So ANC has far less to do with waiting for marriage and more to do with gaining the emotional intelligence necessary to harness your own power of creation. This energy is power of creation for yourself first, before ever sharing it with a partner. Okay? The partner is the aftermath. What you do with this energy is the initiation. All right? So So again, I mentioned emotional intelligence, and you guys are probably wondering why I keep mentioning this. Because again, without it, we have women running amok, okay? Running amok, attempting to control and belittle men with their vaginas, attempting to compete with women. Those who confuse power, okay, with the idea of actual intercourse is wrong, okay? Those who confuse power with actual sexual intercourse, wrong, all right? That's not all this is. If that's all you want to use it for, then have at it, okay? That's your journey, okay? If that works for you, then you go right ahead. But I can guarantee you that not only are you doing yourself a disservice, but you're harming a lot of people. You're harming generations to come and not just yourself, all right? But let me tell you why. Because we've seen this enough, haven't we? We've seen this enough. We've seen this enough. From women trying to put it on Tyrone to pay her bills, right? And our aunties calling up Otis to come and mow her grass. Okay? Are y'all still up in here with me? Should I continue? Women, the knowledge to tap into our inner energy and use it to do something greater. Absolutely. Okay, somebody wants to be in here. Sent a request to be in your live. Do you want to be in the live? Do you want to actually come on video? Do you want me to bring you on video, Mama Love? Do you have a question? Because we can pause. Do you have a comment? You have something? If you want me to bring you in the video, just type something. Type something. Type join the fireside. And let me say, he says no. Okay. Because it just says request to be in the video. All right. So I Dream Mega says, go girl. I'm going. Okay. So you like that part, right? So I'm going to repeat that last part. We've seen this enough. Women trying to put it on Tyrone, right? We've seen this enough, haven't we? From women trying to put it on Tyrone to pay her bills, all right? And our aunties, and I'm saying aunties, and our aunties calling up Otis or Earl to come and mow her grass, right? To come and mow her grass. Now, while I'm not against any man wanting to do for us women, we love that shit. Okay, we do. We love it. It just wouldn't be at the expense of pouring out all of our manifesting juice to get it done. Christy, you laughing, right? Right? Our auntie's calling up Otis to come and mow her grass. Okay? Auntie, you don't have to do that, Auntie. Not at the expense of pouring out all your manifesting juice to get it done. Okay? He do it simply because he wants to. All right? He do it simply because he wants to. And in the case you've met a Tyrone, all right? In the case you've met a Tyrone that refuses to do for you whatever doing for you looks like, okay, that's for you to know, for everybody else to find out. In the case you've met a Tyrone that refuses to do for you, then I say, unless you poured out your manifesting juice, okay? If you've met a Tyrone that refuses to do for you, whatever that looks like for you, because you choose not to pour out your manifesting juice onto him, then I say that you have met the one man that can sell snow to an Eskimo. All right? Meaning that he is one powerful son of a gun. All right? He is one powerful shut your mouth, because he has been able to convince you to give him your power to create, to build, and to heal worlds in exchange for crumbs. Okay? All right? This is a point where you must realize that this energy supersedes just sex, all right? Just intercourse. Even though sex is the only way some of us have understood this energy or have been taught to understand this energy. And if you do decide to participate in bartering your pussy power, all right, then you are the one that is single-handedly causing your own demise. All right? It is you who lacks the wisdom and intelligence about the power you were born DNA coded with. All right? So let's go. Number 2. All right? Anxiety and depression. All right? Here we go. Here is where feminine power and anxiety and depression meet. All right? Anxiety and depression shows up strongly and will increase over time for those who have not been taught how to properly channel this inactivated, stored feminine power. Outside of getting married, outside of having sex, and outside of bearing children. How? Because there is a sitting energy within us with nothing to do and nowhere to go other than on someone else, right? So anxiety and depression shows up strongly. When I say that anxiety and depression for most women is suppressed feminine power screaming to be unleashed, this is what I'm talking about. This is what this looks like. This is that, right? Anxiety and depression, for those of you on this journey, especially if you are in the practice of celibacy and abstinence and don't know why you're doing it other than waiting for the one, you are probably experiencing extreme levels of anxiety and depression because there is misinterpretation or misguided information about what else to do with your power of stored sensuality and stored sexual energy other than waiting to pour it out on someone else. There is so much more to do with this energy than you have been taught, right? And so when you've not been taught this, you have this energy just sitting there waiting for you with nowhere to go and nothing to do. And so you're wondering why this pounding of energy is inside of you that's showing up as anxiety, okay? You're wondering why this heated fire is just sitting there, dwelling there, right? Waiting for you to do something with. But this energy and this power is showing up for you as anxiety and depression because it is waiting to be activated in more ways than just one, in more ways than just through sexual intercourse, right? Okay, so let's keep going. So let's address number 2. Let's address number 2. Again, that anxiety and depression shows up. So what I'm about to share is seriously taboo and unorthodox, okay, as it relates to girls as young as 10 years of age. Now, for those of you who are mothers, who have daughters, for those of you who are aunties or caregivers or guardians of girls who you are raising to become women, then this part is for you, all right? And again, this is going to be seriously taboo and seriously an unorthodox perspective that I'm about to share. But it is time. So girls begin to feel the onset of her feminine energy as young as 10 years old, depending on when she's approaching beginning her period. Outside of just being plain old predators, okay, this also may be the reason why pedophiles believe she's ripe for the picking, all right? Hence, the heinous acts of rape, molestation, and in some cultures, childhood marriage and FGM, which is female genitalia mutilation, okay? So as young as 10 years old, depending on when she begins menstruating, girls are feeling the onset or the rise of this energy, of this power, all right? She's at an age when this power begins to bubble underneath the surface. But there's no one around to teach her exactly what this power is. Instead of teaching her ways in which she can channel this energy outside of reaching an age to maturely participate in sex, and if her flower wasn't already plucked from her unwillingly, okay, she is taught to vilify it. She's taught to shun it, hide it, and even put on a promise ring that makes her vow to never uncover it until she's married. All right? This notion does one thing only: teach her that the only power her body is worth is if a man finds value in it first. You guys still there? You still feeling this? Okay? So as young as 10, when this energy starts bubbling underneath the surface for her, right? As young as 10, when this energy starts bubbling underneath the surface for her, there's no one around to teach her what this energy is, what to do with it, how to channel it outside of intimacy, right? So we teach her to vilify it, hide it, mask it, shun it. Yes, wow, right? Truth, right, Chrissy? Mama Love says, wow. 868 _ Chrissy _ 718 says truth, right? So we teach her to hide it, vilify it, shun it, mask it. We even teach her to put on a promise ring that makes her to vow to never uncover it unless she's married. This notion does one thing only: teach her that the only power her body is worth is if a man finds value in it first. And we wonder why she rebels. We wonder why she's angry, contemplates suicide, is anxious, depressed, confused about herself and life, and lacks confidence. We wonder why. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. This does not mean we lead our young ones into a life of spreading ego. Okay? If you've been listening to what I've been saying so far, if you go over and read this article on patreon.com/Fireside, you know this is not that type of conversation. All right? This means that it is time to teach her how to channel her stored power for herself first, rather than waiting for someone else to do it on her behalf. Yes? Somebody say, let it burn. You guys say, let it burn, okay? Hashtag let it burn in the comments, all right? Let these old ideas and beliefs burn, all right? Are you guys still there? Okay. If not, if we don't teach her how to do this, this is so powerful. Thank you, right? So if we don't teach her how to do this, okay, if we don't, we will continue to perpetuate generational curses on girls that become women who won't understand what to do with herself or her power outside of being claimed by a partner. Okay? If we do not teach her how to channel this stored energy, this stored sensual and sexual energy for herself before ever getting married, okay? If we don't do this, we will continue to perpetuate generational curses on girls who become women who won't know what to do with herself outside of being claimed by a partner. And we can see that happening today, can't we? I mean, we see that with the practice of celibacy and abstinence, with the practice of women who are single, equating her singlehood to waiting for the one, as opposed to equating her singlehood to create, to build, to heal with this power that she possesses. The entire time she's sitting on a power, on an energy, this full cup of power and energy, waiting for someone to come and claim it, to come and claim her. Instead of learning how to activate it and use it to build empires, as Chrissy says, to heal and build and create entire civilizations with this power. Right? Are we still there? Okay. So I'm going to continue. So some of you are probably wondering, well, how? How do we teach her to do this? Okay. How do we teach her to channel this power? How do we teach her to channel sensual and sexual energy to heal worlds, to heal herself, to build empires, to create entire civilizations, right? How do we do this? Well, you'll have to join me privately. You have to join me privately behind the scenes on the Activate Masterclass series. You can read more about that. You can find out more information about the Activate Masterclass series on patreon.com, okay, /a Fireside, all right? But this is an Activate Masterclass series because this is a horse of a different color. It will require you who are interested in joining me there to be very, very brave and courageous. And not just for you if you are a mother, but for her who you are raising to become the next warrior women in this new age that is here. Okay, this new age is here. And we are ready for this type of information. Okay, so if you're wondering how to do this, join me on the Activate Masterclass on patreon.com /the Fireside. You can read more there. You can even email me more questions. If you have some questions, you can email me at jointhefireside@gmail.com. All right. So now let's continue. You guys still there? We're almost done. I'm going to be signing out in just a little bit. All right. This has been exciting. This has been fun. Okay. So here we go. The power of practicing A and C. We already abbreviated what that is. All right. It's for the sake, excuse me, let me read it again. The power of practicing A and C is for the sake of storing up, first storing up, and then put the info in the comments. Can somebody do that? I'll do that. If you don't mind, I need a moderator. Any moderators? Can somebody be my moderator? Christy, will you be the moderator? Christy! Or Mama Love or somebody. If you don't mind, www.patreon.com /a Fireside. Let me do it now. Let's do it now. You're right. Put it in the comments. Christy, see, you and I, listen. You know you're already just my sister from another. You know that, right? I wouldn't have thought to do this, but here we go. Let's do this. Okay, let's do this. You guys still there? Huh? All right. Patreon.com /a Fireside. Thanks for that, Chrissy. Look at you. Women supporting women. That's what I'm talking about. Being the change we want to see. Right? Right? All right. We got that connection. Oh, yes, we do. We do, Chrissy. From day one. Chrissy is the pilot that I mentioned earlier, you guys. Okay? So the power of practicing A and C is for the sake of first storing up and then accessing this reserved energy for yourself first. That is the practice, the true other hidden truths of why practicing celibacy and abstinence is so powerful. Okay? All right? It's not just about waiting for the one and pouring it all out on him. It's about storing up energy and then accessing energy. Storing up energy and then accessing energy. All right? So storing up and then accessing this reserved energy for yourself first. This is what it means when I say because turning pain into power is sexy. You guys know that that's Fireside Chats for Global Women. And again, welcome to Fireside Chats for Global Women on IG Live. All right. This is the first time we've gone live since the rebranding. All right. So this is what I mean when I say because turning pain into power is sexy. The pain comes from the ignorance. Okay. The pain comes from the ignorance or the journey through the darkness of not knowing what this power is because of what we've not been taught. Okay. Because of what we've not been taught about ourselves as women. Okay. And the sexy component is now that we know, we can now make emotionally intelligent, and I said that, EI part again, emotionally intelligent decisions and being and teaching our little ones from this place of ancient wisdom and power. It's kind of like you don't know what you don't know, but now that you know, what are you going to do with this knowledge? Okay? What are you going to build? What are you going to create? What are you going to heal from this place of unleashed power? Once you gain the emotional intelligence, all right? Now, this is what we talk about on the Activate Masterclass. This is some of the ideas that I share with you behind the scenes on the Activate Masterclass, Okay. We go through actual rituals and practices, and I share these philosophies, and I help you refine and gain the emotional intelligence required in order for you to properly unleash and activate this stored power within yourself. Okay. This energy will not allow you to activate it fully until you have taken the journey through the darkness and have gained that emotional intelligence. And what is emotional intelligence exactly? Okay. Does anybody want to kind of go into what emotional intelligence is? Anybody? Anybody want to make a comment about what emotional intelligence actually is? Okay. So, for example, behind the Activate Masterclass, some of the concepts or some of the ideas are built on the premise that emotional intelligence means when you feel this energy of arousal, okay? When you feel this sensual and sexual energy, once you activate your full power, this full suppressed and stored energy and power, the emotional intelligence means once I feel this, I know what to do with it. Emotional intelligence says that I don't go just pour this out in a 10, 15, or 20-minute sexual connection with somebody. Because after 10, 15 minutes, it's done, it's over. Now I've just poured out all of this power of manifestation, all of this creation juice in 10 to 15 minutes when I could have built whole empires with it, right? Emotional intelligence says, when I become aroused, what else can I do with this with this energy of arousal other than pour it out? Other than pour it out in 10, 15 minutes and it's done. It's a wrap. That's it. That's all we get. That's all. Is that the best you can do? Is that the best we can do with this type of manifesting power? Okay. Is that the best we can do? So here's a bit of insight on unleashing this power. Once you do, the floodgates open up. Okay. It really, really does. The floodgates open up. Now I'm going to leave some of this for you guys to enjoy once you go over to read the article over on patreon.com again /the Fireside. The link is there. Okay, so you guys are going to read some of this stuff yourself because I want you to go over there and I want you to like it and I want you to comment and I want you to share it with other women who this may resonate with. When do you pour it out? I'm sorry, that's funny to me. That's so funny to me. I don't know why I felt like that question would come. I didn't think it would come from you, I Dream Makers. And I know you can't convey tone through messaging, through text, but don't make me laugh, okay? Mama Love says, how much do you pour out? Why is that so damn funny to me? That is so damn funny to me. When do you pour it out? So Mama, so I Dream Megas, how much do I keep? Oh my God, this is some funny stuff. How much do I keep and when do I pour it out? Here's how I'm going to respond to that. Here's how I'm going to respond to both of your questions. Until. Until. Okay? How much? Until. When? Until. And you will know when that until is. Only you will know that. Okay? Only you would know that. Only you know what you are working to create and manifest in your own world. Okay? Only you know that. So I can't tell you how much of your manifestation juices to pour out until the end of time. Depending on what is time, depending on what you mean by time. Okay? What is the end of time? What is time? Really, when we are living in infiniteness, what is time? Okay. But that's funny. That's funny. How much of it do you pour out? When do you pour it out? Only you will know when. And my response to that will be until. Okay. When you have gained the wisdom, that you gain when you take the journey within. Okay, when you take the journey within the darkness, what I call journeying through the darkness of your mind and your emotions, and uncovering all of this ancient intelligence for yourself, your DNA coded intelligence for yourself. Only you will know when that until is. Okay. So here we go. So I'm going to leave some of that for you guys to read, and I want to skip down to this next phase, which I think is so important to share. Okay, you guys ready? So I started noticing the power of my stored, just speaking for me, my stored sensual and sexual energy when I would meet a guy and we'd start dating. Okay, so I'm about to really self-disclose here. Okay, I'm going to self-disclose. After a while, we'd become sexually intimate, and I would notice his attitude shift from extremely humble to damn near my shit don't stink. All right. This was far beyond the I got some complex. All right. This was far beyond that, but something much more profound. It never seemed to fail. Okay. That his life would magically begin to thrive afterwards, after intimacy. Truly. I hear things like, dang, I'm getting so much more attention for some reason, or my sales have skyrocketed. It could have been months or years before he got the job he wanted, and all of a sudden he get the call and receive his dream job or opportunity. Okay. Now, needless to say that after we go our separate ways, it never failed, y'all. Okay. It never failed that he'd call in hopes of once again being in my presence. All right. Saying, my life hasn't been the same without you. Okay. I'd always take that as if he missed me. Okay. I'd always take that at that time as if he missed me at that time. Okay. But what I know now is that he had run out of some sort of magic and wanted more of it, even though he nor I truly understood what that was at the time. Can I get some comments on that? Some feedback on that if we're still in the room, right? Yeah? Our dream maker says yes, right? I started noticing the power of my stored sensual and sexual energy during these types of experiences. So as I journeyed through the darkness of my own mental health and discovered why anxiety and depression had shown up for me, this is what I discovered. I realized that, damn, my partners were able to thrive off of my power, but I wasn't. And why was that? Because I was not strategically channeling from my own power for myself, but instead I was giving it away. I was pouring it out. Okay? Nadri Mega says we got the Midas touch. 868_Chrissy says absolutely. Mama Love says I'm taking it all. I'm taking it all in, okay? Right? But the thing is, remember, it's not about just holding on to this energy. It's about how to channel this stored energy towards other things other than just sex, all right? So it's not just about holding it, okay? It's about harnessing it, cultivating it, activating it, and channeling it to build those empires, right? To create and heal worlds, to raise next generations of our starseeds, of our indigo children, to raise next generations of those that become alchemists, that learn how to turn their pain into power. That is what you do with this energy, okay? You don't just sit on it, because when you sit on it, what do we see? The onset and the rise of anxiety and depression and women who have suppressed this feminine power, right? So that is what I noticed personally on my journey, that, my partners were able to thrive off of this energy unbeknownst to them. But I wasn't. Why wasn't I? Because I was pouring it out as opposed to channeling it in my own life towards my own creations. all right, in my own life. Now, don't get me wrong, sex as consenting adults is great. As consenting adults is great, okay? But let's at least decide to pour out our cups on someone who pours the good energy back. The type of energy you can do something with. Yes. I dream Megas and a flat ass. What does that mean? What is that in reference to and a flat ass? What did I miss something at the top? Got the Midas touch. Okay, I don't know when the flat ass what that is referencing. I have no idea what that's referencing. Okay. All right. So here's another experience that I'm going to share. That's well, actually, I'm not going to share that. I'm going to leave that for you guys to read once you view this article. I'm going to skip on down. Okay. So not only did I notice this shift after intimacy with someone that I was dating, but also even after I shared my auric, non-sexual energy with others who were just hanging about. Okay. So not only did I notice this after intimacy, but I also noticed this shift when I shared my auric energy, my presence with those who were just simply around. Okay. Non-sexual energy. So let me explain what I mean. Okay. So I used to host meditations at my home for people I consider close associates. And there was a husband and wife couple that would frequent my sessions. Now I'm really about to divulge some stuff here, guys. So here we go. So there was a husband and wife that used to frequent my meditation sessions that I used to hold at my home. My meditations were not outside of anything respectful, okay? There was never any funny business, so to speak, simply candles, sage crystals, and my personal devotion and energy and care that I brought to each practice, okay? So never any funny business. The husband of that married couple, okay, they had been married for some years and they had 4 or 5 children. Okay, they've been married for some years. They had gotten married pretty young. And the husband of that married couple called me one morning after about their third time coming to my home. Okay. He called to say that he enjoyed the meditation as usual and that he felt it was time to tell me a truth he had been holding in for some time. Dun, dun, dun. Right? That he'd been holding in for some time. He went on to say that not only had his business been thriving since meditating with me, but also that he was crazy about me. Okay? The husband of this married couple. Okay? And that he wanted to be romantically involved. Okay? That his wife knew and was okay with it. And that I was the woman he had always dreamt should be in his life. Dun, dun, dun. Y'all still up in here, right? Now, I dissolved our friendship after that conversation, not because I was angry or offended, no, but because this wasn't the first time a married man or even a married woman had come on to me. Mama Love says yes, okay? I realized that there was something more that I could not see and that it was time to protect it and myself at all costs. Right? You guys up in here, let's say let it burn, right? So this wasn't the first time, okay? This, among many other reasons, was why I decided to pull back my energy from people, from places and things. I stopped dating, okay? I stopped hanging out. I withdrew from all forms of human connection, literally. I realized the importance of first understanding this energy for myself before ever deciding to unleash it or share it again. Okay? So when you go through an experience like this, you realize that this energy supersedes intercourse, but it's an energy that literally dwells and live and have its beingness in and around you. Yes, let it burn, right? I share this story. I share this personal experience and another personal experience you're going to read once you go over and read the article. I share this because it's important to understand that when you knowingly or unknowingly access this stored power, even without sex at all, it will attract damn near everyone and everything. 868_Christy says, I can understand the energy that you walk with is phenomenal. You know why, Christy? Because energy is real, right? Energy is just energy. It's all around us all the time. We are energy. We're made up of energy. Everything is energy. It truly is, right? The thing with energy is, where are you channeling it, right? Because energy can flow everywhere. It can flow into your sexual encounters. It flows in your relationships, your romantic relationships, even in your professional relationships, your business relationships, your friendships. Okay, this energy flows in connection with your children, with your family members. Energy is just energy. What we do with it, right, is a deciding factor. Right? Yes, energy is phenomenal. This is real, very, very real. I hope you are recording. Yeah, this is recording. Yeah, this is automatically recording. It is alive. It is alive. Energy is very much alive. And the disservice throughout the centuries is we've not been taught how to properly how to properly channel and activate this energy towards more than just sexual intercourse. And that's the disservice humans have done to ourselves, right? So this energy, whether you know it or not, attracts damn near everyone and everything, okay? This energy attracts broken people that want your healing power, all right? It attracts married people, single people, straight people, same-sex people, women, men, couples. This energy attracts animals, the birds, and even the damn bees, okay? Because energy is real. You cannot fake energy. You know the truth by the way, not only that you see it, but that it feels when it's in your presence. Like India Ari says, you see the truth, it needs no proof. Either it is or it isn't. And you know the truth by the way it feels, right? You see the truth, it needs no proof. The truth, it needs no proof. Either it is or it is not. And you know it. You will know it. Okay? It attracts everything. The birds, the bees, and even the birds, and even the damn bees, right? Again, with emotional intelligence. This is what I work with you on and refine and help you to refine in the Activate Masterclass, and how to channel this energy once you've unleashed it towards building and healing and creating empires and civilizations. All right? With emotional intelligence, you will know how to make mature decisions from this place of power, because once you realize that once you unleash this energy and you activate this energy, once you've gained the emotional intelligence to even be able to activate it, because again, this energy will not allow you to activate it within you unless you've gained the emotional intelligence. Literally are the keys that unlock the doors to unleash this energy, to unleash this power. Okay. So, once you do this, once you travel and take this journey, you realize that it's important to make emotionally intelligent decisions from this place of power, or else you will do yourself a disservice, you will harm yourself, and you will harm a lot of other people. You will harm civilizations, and we have seen the depiction of this in our world. Look at the chaos in the world, okay? Look at the chaos in the world of people who have not taken this journey themselves and have refined the importance of their intelligence, right? Okay? The knowledge you gain about yourself and about your power will literally begin to turn you on. Literally. Once you take this journey to uncover what this power is, to uncover what and who you truly are, once you come into this ancient wisdom and ancient intelligence, you literally become aroused. You literally get turned on at the sheer fact of who and what you are, the sheer fact of what you were born DNA coded with, right, Chrissy? Okay? Literally begins to turn you on, double entendre, by the way. Turn you on. Because being turned on exists in more ways than one. Being turned on, you feel this arousing energy inside of you, right? But then you're also turned on because you are enlightened, right? This is why I'm wearing my bindi tonight. This represents being enlightened from here, right? From the mind, right? So you literally begin to feel or be turned on by the knowledge that you uncover about yourself. Double entendre. Turned on physically, turned on spiritually, turned on energetically, turned on mentally, turned on emotionally. Okay? You become aroused by the sheer fact of who and what you really are, not in a braggadocious way or from an unhealthy ego, but from a healthy ego. You learn to understand and develop a relationship with an unused power that is screaming to be properly unleashed. Okay? It is time to tap into your reservoir of stored sensual and sexual energy and activate it for other things than just pouring it out on Tyrone. Okay? So we're at the end here. We're at the end. Are we ready? We're at the end. Here we go. As you continue your journey of ANC, abstinence and celibacy, start to ask yourself these two questions. So if you are on this journey of practicing or even want to practice this, because again, the language that I'm speaking here isn't about practicing because you're just waiting for the one. If that is your reason, then let that be your reason. But if you are a consenting adult and you choose to pour your energy out, in sexual intimacy as a consenting adult with another consenting adult, that's your business, all right? If that's your, that's what you do, that's what you do. Now, if you're on this journey of practicing abstinence and celibacy and you want to know these other hidden truths, you want to understand the power behind that other than just waiting for the one, then this conversation is for you, okay? So if you decide to practice this, then this is what you need to know. And these are questions that you should ask yourself. There are two questions that you should ask yourself if you decide to practice, okay? So as you continue your journey of ANC, start to ask yourself two main questions in order to activate, okay? In order to begin the activation, I should say that. In order to begin the activation of the power of your stored sensual and sexual energy, all right? Stored sensual and sexual energy. Number one, what else can I do for myself, okay? Because you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot create from an empty cup, right? So the question is, what else can I do for myself, okay? Without thinking about a partner, without thinking about what else can I do for myself with the power I have stored up from abstaining and practicing celibacy before giving it to a partner? That's your first question. What else can I do with my stored sensual and sexual energy? What else can I do for myself with the power that I've stored up from abstaining and practicing celibacy before giving it to a partner? Okay? It's kind of like, how can I enjoy this meal, this hot, juicy, steaming, spicy meal that I've prepared and that I've cooked for myself, that's seasoned and flavorful and juicy and right? How can I enjoy this meal for myself first before asking a partner if he wants to taste? Double entendre, right? What else can I do with this hot meal? How can I enjoy this myself first before asking my partner or the one that I'm waiting for, if you're waiting? right? You know when we're eating meals and we say, this is so good. This is so good. Oh my God, this is so good. So good. And we say, you want to try some? You want to taste? Would you like to try some? Would you like to taste? Right? But the magic in that, right, is enjoying your meal for yourself first, tasting it for yourself first, right? That is what that means. Double entendre. And number 2, second question. Because I can bring human life, okay, talking to my ladies, right? Because I can bring human life from the spirit world into the physical world through my body and out of my vagina. Because I can do that, all right? What else can I birth and bring to life? It's a powerful question, right? You guys still in here? You guys still in here? Let me know. Hashtag let it burn, hashtag the fireside, okay? So question number 2 again. Because I can bring human life, like literally flesh, blood, bones, hair, teeth, eyeballs, fingers, toes, from the spirit world, from the unseen into the seen, through my body. I can bring an actual human through my body, from the spirit world into the physical world, out of my vagina. Okay? What else can I birth and bring to life? With that type of power to bring a human into the physical world, you got to know that there's more to that. Right? Yes, Chrissy. Yes? You got to know that this power is all that, a bag of chips and some dip. You got to know that this is all encompassing. If you can do that, what else can you birth, my ladies? Women, ladies on this journey, if you can do that, what else can you bring to life with this type of power? This is some intense shit, right? For us to just pour it out. What else can you do with that? So those are the 2 questions to ask yourself if you're on this journey of practicing celibacy and abstinence. Okay? Last but not the least, we're at the end here. Last but not the least, when you do, okay, never looked at it like this. Wow, powerful, powerful, yeah. And the only reason why we've never looked at it like this is because we've never been taught to look at it like this, okay? We've only been taught to sex it away, right? We've only been taught, like Solange says, to fuck it away. Right? Oh my God, I'm saying so, I'm so raw with this live, you guys. Listen, some of the connections that I've made throughout my career journey, I'm not quite sure if they're going to invite me to the White House now. I'm not quite sure if they're going to invite me to speak at the next White House conference now. I mean, that was part of my mission work, but I'm not sure after they see this, how raw this IG live is, if I'm going to be, oh, my light just flickered. Did you guys see that? Did I do that? My light just flickered. I don't know. Not quite sure if they're going to invite me to the White House now after this live, but hey, this is what I was born to do, and I'm here for it. And I can't hold this information in. I cannot. It was literally burning me up from the inside. And I have to release it for those of you who this language is meant for. So, you know, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to make it to the White House now, but I don't know. This is a new age though, right? This is a new age. And so this new age is the uncovering of all this, of things that were once hidden and secret, and all of these truths are coming to the surface now. This stuff isn't a secret anymore, So maybe in this new age, maybe this new administration, maybe they want to hear conversations like this. Maybe they want to have conversations like this. I don't know. I'm not quite sure if the United Nations women will have me now, but hey, I create my own nations. With this energy, I build my own nations, my own civilizations, right? Yes, I see the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. We build it ourselves. So have at it. So here we are, the ending stretch. The ending stretch, okay? So when you do decide to finally relinquish the practice, this is kind of going on. When you do decide to finally relinquish the practice of your ANC, okay, it won't just be because you've met the one, all right? It won't just be because you've met the one, all right? When you do decide to relinquish it, when you do it, and we're going to go back to some of your questions of when you pour it out and how much you pour it out, here's what's going to really drive you the point home and drive home the questions that you asked, okay? When you pour it out and how much of it you pour it out, all right? When you do decide to finally relinquish the practice of your ANC, it won't just be because you've met the one or that you already are, okay, with the one. Maybe you already have, okay? It won't just be because of that. Not just because of that. It'll be because you first become one with your damn self. All right? So when you ask that question of when and how much, until you've become one with yourself. Not because you've met the one, but because you've become the one yourself. All right? Okay? All right? Because you first become the one yourself. It is time, ladies who are listening to this, or who will listen to this later. This language is for you. If you're ready to learn this language, then I am here, okay? It is time to activate, okay? It is time to activate better use, all right? In the words of one of our all-time favorite rappers, Jay-Z, it is time to activate better use, other than just pouring it out, other than just, okay? Better use of that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff. It is time to activate better use of that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff. Mama Love says, okay. Hey. 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 What? It is time to activate better use of that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff. In the words of Jay-Z. I didn't say it. Jay-Z said it. Okay? I didn't say that. Give it to me. Yes, Chrissy. That's what Jay-Z said. You know why Jay-Z said it? Because even he knows. They all know. The only people that didn't was us. But now that we know, what are you going to do about it? Now that you know, what decisions are you going to make from this powerful place of knowing, from this place of power? Are you going to invest in activating yourself from the inside out? Because this journey is for those who do the work from within, not just try to look like it out here, right? Now, this stuff is nice, right? It's cute. It's pretty to me. To me, it is. It's cute. It's nice. It's nice to fix yourself up, to look nice, smell nice. That stuff is nice. But this journey is for those who do the work within, and the outside matches that which is within, right? It's as within, so without. So now that you have come into this understanding of your body, of yourself, who you are as not only as a woman, but as a being on this planet, a being born DNA coded to create, heal, and build entire empires and civilizations, what are you going to do with your manifesting power, with your manifesting juice? Are you going to continue to just wait for the one, hold on to all this power in your cup, not do anything else with it, wait for the one, and as soon as you meet somebody, you pour it all out on him? Okay? You pour it all on him. He don't know what to do with all that. Okay? It's time to activate better use of your stored sensual and sexual energy, other than just pouring it out on Tyrone. And if you are ready to learn how to activate this power, if you are ready to do the work within, right? If you are ready to invest in your inner world so that you can create your outer world, if you are ready to refine and gain and harness your emotional intelligence, okay, in order to be able to properly activate this power, because again, this power is the divine feminine energy that dwells within every woman and every man, okay? But my work is tailored and targeted for women and girls, okay? So without having gained again this emotional intelligence, this inner divine feminine is very intelligent. Oh, she's so intelligent. She's so intelligent. She would not allow herself to be used. She would not allow herself to be scuppered. She won't. She will not unleash for you. You will continue to experience extreme levels of anxiety and depression because she will not allow you to activate her until you have gained the emotional intelligence to do so. Because the emotional intelligence is the key to unlock the door and open it and let her out. Again, anxiety and depression is showing up strongly for you because there is this suppressed divine feminine power that is ready to be unleashed. She's ready for you to activate her from within. She's ready for you to channel her towards building those empires, building and creating and healing those civilizations. She will not unleash for you until you have gained the emotional intelligence to respectfully channel her. She won't have it any other way. This is the dawn of a new age. The new age that will not allow these powerful ancient motifs to be used by those who aren't ready for it. She will not allow you. As a matter of fact, the Activate Masterclass isn't for every woman. Oh, see, now I'm not going to even repeat. See, now, Mama Love, that's not even, here's find a multimillionaire to pour this leftover energy on. See, remember, were you on the beginning when I said without emotional intelligence, you have women trying to put it on our brothers, put it on our men? Now I have to go back to that point because Mama Love has said something, and everybody can read your comment, right, Mama Love? Everybody read. So you may need to join the Activate Masterclass, okay? You may I'm in training. Yes. Are we all? This is an evolutionary journey, right? The training never ends. But we're at a point now where we no longer need to be on baby milk here, okay? We no longer need to be on baby milk. But you're one of the ones I'm talking about. Let me go pour some of this energy out on a millionaire. Here's the thing about your energy, Mama Love. Why would you need to go pour it out on a multimillionaire when you have the energy to create yourself to be the multimillionaire? Like, that's the thing about this energy, and that's some of the stuff that I'm going to be bringing more to the forefront. That's the thing about this sensual and sexual energy. The confusion has been, let me go pour it out on somebody. And I know you probably meant it in a joking way, but there are some women who think that has been the way and have tried it and it's not worked, right? You're doing yourself a disservice and you're hurting a lot of people, right? It's the lowest form of using this energy. Why pour it out on a multimillionaire when this energy is sufficient enough to create you into the multimillionaire? You wouldn't need to do that. As a matter of fact, With this energy, you become a multimillionaire and you meet a mirror reflection of what you are with this energy. With this energy, you become your own multimillionaire. And then you meet a mirror reflection of yourself. That is what this energy is, honey. Okay? That is what this energy is. You use this energy to create yourself as that and be in position to meet a mirror reflection of what you have not only become, but what you have unbecome. And if you're ready for that type of conversation, if you're ready to learn these ancient ways of unleashing, activating, and channeling this stored energy for yourself first, then join me on patreon.com/the Fireside. Okay, you can become a patron if this is information and knowledge that you like. If you enjoyed this live, please become a patron. Share this information with other people so that they can become a patron. And a patron is a financial contributor. All right, help me to be able to spread this knowledge globally. There are a number of women and girls who are suffering in silence. Why? Because they have not been made privy to this knowledge. They have been taught to vilify their power. They are suffering from extreme levels of anxiety and depression, especially in countries and in cultures where it has been normalized. Childhood marriage has been normalized, where FGM is normal. Women and girls who have escaped these heinous traditions and practices, who have learned to hide and protect this power within themselves because they needed to protect themselves, right? So this is unorthodox mental health perspectives. This is what I've been charged to share only because I've come through the darkness myself. And I'm here as a living witness that turning pain into power is truly sexy, okay? And the alchemy behind the premise that turning pain into power is sexy is the real deal. And if you support this mission, if you support these unorthodox perspectives about anxiety and depression actually being suppressed power screaming to be unleashed, then consider becoming a patron. Share with those who this may resonate with about becoming a patron. They can do that on patreon.com/the Fireside. And again, if this is for you, then the Activate Masterclass is for you. If you are ready, it is an investment, okay? It's not for everybody. It is an investment, and it's an investment for those who take their inner journey seriously. It's an investment for those who have been called to unleash their power in order to build, create, and heal civilizations. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all of you who came, the 6 of you that came. And for those of you who will be watching this later on YouTube, make sure you share, like, make sure you subscribe, follow me here on Fireside Chats for Global Women, connect with me on YouTube, and I'll see you all on the flip side of this thing. Let it burn, hashtag let it burn. And remember, turning pain into power is sexy. I'll see you next time.